Hi, everyone. Good day and welcome to the What's New in Resuscitation webinar. It's great to have you all here, and we have a lot to cover in this 45 minutes that we have scheduled for today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm Joe Lamerson with Laerdal. I'm going to be your host for today, working with my colleague Meta Alhag, who's joining us live from the studio in Stavanger. And before we start, just a few housekeeping things to go over. So sit back and relax. All of the videos are off for attendees. All attendees are muted, so you have nothing to worry about except for enjoying the presentation today. If there are any technical issues, please stay on. We'll get it corrected as soon as possible. We have a full team working to put on the webinar for today. So if you do notice anything, just stay with us. Please use the Q&A function. So a big part of this presentation today is the live Q&A to conclude. So we have Meta answering questions. So I'll go over on the next slide how you can use the Q&A function and raise questions that you may think of throughout the presentation. Another note is this webinar is being recorded. So if you miss something or you feel like you need to go back and check something, we will email you a link where you can watch the recording on demand at a later time. So you'll get that shortly after the webinar concludes. So that's the few things I wanted to cover before jumping into the next slides. And as mentioned, there's a Q&A icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen, which you can click and enter questions. So when we get to the Q&A portion, we may be able to cover some of the live questions that come in. We've gotten quite a few beforehand during the registration, so we'll see how many we can cover throughout the live portion. So just quickly jumping into today's agenda, I'll give you a quick intro of what we're going to be covering, as well as a refresher on high performance CPR, as that is kind of the theme of the solutions that are going to be presented today. We'll hand it over to Meta, who's going to be showcasing the products, giving you a head to toe of Resuscitation and introducing some of our new solutions. And then we'll conclude with the Q&A portion, where I'll be feeding questions to Meta that have come in during the webinar or beforehand if you had asked a question during the registration, and have that live interaction with her and hopefully able to answer some of the questions that you may have. So just looking at this product showcase, this is a new approach for us and hopefully something that you really enjoy. We're going to be using Resuscitation QCPR and ShockLink and going through a head to toe of Resuscitation QCPR, as well as a kind of reintroduction to ShockLink. And we're going to be using those solutions to introduce 5 new solutions, including one that hasn't even been released yet. So really exciting. So stay on for the whole time so you can really see these new solutions, and then ending with one, like I said, that hasn't been released yet, and you'll have the opportunity to actually be a part of some beta testing if you're interested in that. As I said before, the ecosystem and kind of theme of these solutions that we're presenting are designed around enhancing high performance CPR team training and CPR skills training for professional first responders. So with that, I think it's appropriate to provide a quick refresher on high performance CPR, what it is and why it's important. So in explaining what high performance CPR is, I think it's a good place to start with the definition. And one of the best definitions that I've heard is from Mike Helbach, who's on the faculty of the Resuscitation Academy in Seattle. And how he describes high performance CPR is a highly refined, choreographed, and measured CPR event built around master level individual skills with fully integrated ALS procedures incorporating current evidence-based performance metrics. So if you look at the image that we have on the screen here, it's really about a team performance in a resuscitation event where everybody knows what they're doing from an individual skills perspective and a team perspective. So jumping into the next slide, now that we have a definition of high performance CPR, let's look at the skills that are involved in high performance CPR. So that includes compression skills, ventilation skills, defibrillation skills, and then even more advanced skills like airway management and drug administration via IO or IV. And then the other thing that may not be as apparent when you're looking at a scene or looking at teams training is the soft skills that are involved, like roles and teamwork, verbal and nonverbal communication, and then managing fatigue and rotations. So now that we have a bit of a better understanding of what high performance CPR is, let's talk about why it's important. So high performance CPR is actually one of the Resuscitation Academy and Global Resuscitation Alliance's 10 steps to improve survival from sudden cardiac arrest. So when we look at regions or communities that have some of the highest survival rates in the world, often those organizations that are responding have implemented high performance CPR with ongoing training and quality improvement. So as I put the URLs of these organizations on the screen, I did that because those are really great places to start if you're looking for more information on how you could implement high performance CPR. So within both of these websites, you can find case studies, videos, toolkits, really things that can help you learn more about the topic and potentially help with your local implementation. So now that we've covered the concept of high performance CPR, I think we're at a good place to hand it over to Meta so she can take over and give you the product showcase and demo of our new and existing solutions. So take it away, Meta.
Hi, yes, thank you. My name is Mette Alhaug. I'm one of the product managers at Laerdal, and I'm excited to be here today to walk you through what's new in resuscitation at Laerdal. The solutions presented are part of the Resuscitation Mannequin platform, and they are primarily designed for supporting high-performance CPR training, which is one of the Global Resuscitation Alliance's 10 steps to improve survival from sudden cardiac arrest. In front of me, you can see Resuscitation QCPR. I'm going to start by giving you a head-to-toe walkthrough of this mannequin and use her features to introduce our newest solutions. If you're looking for more on infant and child resuscitation training, it's important to know that Resusci Baby and Resusci Junior utilize the same technology as Resuscitation. We say, learn to know one mannequin and you know them all. To enhance the experience and go beyond what I can physically demo myself, we will have photos and videos appear on screen throughout the presentation. Let's get started and have some fun. We're going to start with the head. This mannequin has an airway head. You can choose between a standard head and an airway head. By the way, if you don't know the story of Resuscitan's face, it's a great story for another time or a Google later. Regardless of the head you select, you will be able to perform ventilations using a BVM. Sensors within the mannequin measure ventilation rate and volume. Here you can see the chest rights. You can also do mouth-to-mouth, but then we recommend using Laerdal pocket mask. This is for hygienic reasons, especially in these COVID times, like this. The airway head is designed with high-performance CPR team training scenarios in mind. What do I mean by that? As every second counts during a resuscitation event, high-performance teams know the importance of avoiding unnecessary time off chest. By training with real airway equipment, individuals and teams can optimize soft skills like communication and hard skills like device handling. We have simplified the mannequin trachea and the airway features for this purpose. The Resuscitation airway head is primarily designed for using supraglottic devices, but it also seals and provides good ventilations to your feedback, to your QCPR device feedback when using ET tubes. However, this is not a skills trainer, nor is it a solution to train for difficult airway, as there is no anatomy past the vocal cords. Laerdal offers other solutions for that. In the spirit of this webinar, I want to introduce what's new. You might be delighted to hear that we now have airway heads for Resusci Junior and Resusci Baby. These airway heads follow the same principle as Resusci. They are primarily designed for using supraglottic devices with no anatomy past the vocal cords. If you have an existing Resusci Junior or a Resusci Baby, you can add this head as an upgrade. Something unique about the Resusci Junior HP-CPR airway head is the new pupil feature. Users can simply and more easily roll the pupils to show dilated and normal eyes. You just flick them like this. I'm doing this demo to give a better visual of, without the face skin, to give a better visual of this. The same design will be implemented to the Resusci airway head as well. And this will be made available as an upgrade to current customers. Now, we will move our way down to the chest. Resusci is designed to look and feel like a real person. The amount of force required to reach guideline depth is completely realistic. With each compression, users can measure compression rate, depth, release, hand placement, and hands-on time. On top of that, Resusci HP-CPR comes with different spring options. So you can simulate different chest stiffness. This is the standard spring. It comes pre-installed, and you can easily install the light and the heavy springs yourself. We have how-to videos for how to do this. We know that chest stiffness can vary from patient to patient. So having the option to train for different situations can be extremely beneficial. This feature can help keep trainees from becoming too familiar with the standard mannequin chest. During the last years, we have significantly improved the durability of the compression system. We will take a closer look later when we dive under the chest skin. The Resusci HP-CPR in front of me has an AED skin. The AED skin has sensors that enables the mannequin to communicate with real defibrillators using the ShockLink system. So what exactly is ShockLink? ShockLink is a small device that enables users safely integrate their AED or defibrillator into the training environment. The device contains a rhythm library, and this cable is used to absorb the shock from the defibrillator. Unless you have a Philips defib, you will need an adapter like this one for SOL models. We also have adapters for other leading brand defibrillators. To control the rhythms, you can use the ShockLink app for Android or iOS, the remote control that comes with the ShockLink unit, or the HP-CPR solutions that integrate to ShockLink. For now, I will use the free ShockLink app to send a rhythm to the SOL Series X monitor. Let me show you how this works. Switch on the defib. I take the ShockLink unit. I connect this adapter to the part in the defibrillator brand, this one. I connect the pads to the ShockLink device. These are the ShockLink pads. Like this. And now you can also see that it's powered on. It's powered on by the defibrillator, or you can even power it on by switching on and off the battery here. And now I'm ready to scan for ShockLink using the ShockLink app. Scan. I found shock link, I connect it, continue. And now I have a VF as a default here. I will pause sinus or Q sinus rhythm by press and hold. And now I'm ready to do a scenario. I will apply the pads. When the pads are applied, connection to the defib will be established and it will start sending rhythms. It's wise to use the liner if you want your pads to be more durable. Like that, we can see the rhythm. The VF rhythm is sent here. I will press analyze.
Stand clear. Press shock.
Shocking. And now we
CPR.
will see the sinus rhythm coming like I pre-programmed in the ShockLink app. There's also 2 pre-programmed scenarios in the ShockLink app and other options like CPR artifacts and some settings adjustments as well. Currently, 2 CPR solutions integrating to ShockLink are SimPad Skill Reporter and Team Reporter, which I will cover later. By using Laerdal QCPR software, you will also get shock events integrated into the real-time feedback and debriefing data. ShockLink has been around for a while, so what's new? We have listened to our ShockLink users and added pediatric rhythms, pediatric versions of sinus and SVT rhythms. However, until we have AED skin for junior and baby, we recommend to use the ShockLink app with these pediatric mannequins. Additionally, for sole defib users, we have improved the training experience when using Laerdal mannequins. We have developed 2 new ShockLink pads for adults. We call them sole adapted. They are simulating the experience using 1-steps and stat pads. As you can see, they contain the Velcro support that's needed for the real CPR, also called the CPR puck. They have the same look and feel as the sole clinical pads and training pads, plus they include Laerdal Link technology. This means that you can get pad placement detection and integration with QCPR feedback. In this setup, you will need a sole training cable like this. This cable can be purchased from Sole or from Sole distributors. To make it as easy as possible, we have made a new web page and a how-to video explaining how to train with the new Sole pads. Staying in the chest area, I want to quickly touch on Resuscitation arms. The full body model in front of me comes with 2 hard arms pre-installed. Resuscitation QCPR torso configurations comes with no arms, but arms can easily be added or removed. Additionally, we have IV arms and trauma arms available for Resuscitation. On a related note, some of the latest resuscitation guidelines have stated that IV is preferred over IO. Let's now move down to the legs. These are the soft legs that come included with the full body Resuscitation. You also have the option to get a torso model of Resuscitation with no legs. You can also get hard legs with added weight, trauma limbs, IO leg, and bleeding control legs. I don't have them here, but you will see these products appear on the screen. Any of the legs can easily be added or removed by using this pin, taking it off like this. Now that we covered the full head to toe and some of what's new, let's look inside Resuscitation for more. This is where QCPR feedback is measured. Like mentioned before, the durability of the compression system is greatly improved. It was designed to last 500,000 compressions, but the new compression system will take you much further. To extend the life of your mannequin, the new compression system can be purchased separately and installed by you. The latest generation Resuscitation has completely new electronics. A rechargeable battery means you can charge Resuscitation just like your phone. The mannequin also has Bluetooth Low Energy technology, which enables app compatibility and strong connectivity. It is important to note that if you have a previous generation Resuscitation or Resusci Baby, you can tech refresh your mannequin to make it rechargeable and app compatible by using our upgrade kits. These do-it-yourself kits can be installed in just a few minutes. Now, let's talk about those new apps. Unfortunately, I can't do a live demo of Team Reporter since it's a team training solution and it's just me here, but I can tell you about it. Team Reporter is our newest app designed for high-performance team training, and it makes training fun. It works by combining the video from your phone with QCPR feedback from the mannequin. This creates a powerful training tool for instructors. We will display some of the key features on screen, including real-time CPR feedback, which includes all the parameters of quality CPR. And the session debrief contains all the QCPR data in a scrollable format. With each session, you get the full session video. You can also scroll through the timeline and play the video from anywhere in the session. Users can save and access their sessions easily as they are stored in the cloud. One of the coolest features of the highlights is the highlights video feature, where the app auto-generates a highlights video after the session, showing the most coachable moments, good or bad. I would like to end with a sneak peek at something new and exciting, especially for those of you using PC Skill Reporter, which was discontinued earlier this year. I'm going to move over to my laptop. This brand new application includes the best and most popular features of SimPad Skill Reporter app for tablets, and the discontinued PC Skill Reporter. My colleague will now join me for help with compressions. Yeah, take it away, Björn. When I connect the mannequin, you can connect up to 6 mannequins here. And then you go to training session. And here you can already see that the stacks are moving up and down. You have, most of you are familiar with this view. And then you have also the timeline view for this application. which we know is very important for our professional users. You have hand position, rate, volume, etc. This is compressions only settings, but you have more protocol settings in the drop-down menu. You can set session length and start session. Thank you, Björn. I have preloaded some sessions so that we can have a look at those as well. All the results, all the sessions that you do are automatically stored as results. You can have 2 sessions, compare them like this. You can go into the details, compare each learner. You can also dive into one of the sessions and get very much detail on your performance. And there's a timeline which can be scrolled. And it can be exported into multiple formats. There's also a settings menu where you can adjust to your local protocol. AHA, ERC, Singapore guidelines, or custom guidelines. This app is currently in beta for Windows, and we are looking for beta testers for it. So if you would like to be a beta tester and work with me and my development team, please contact us. Currently, you need to have the latest generation Resusci mannequin, being the Bluetooth Low Energy version. But we will also develop the cabled USB connection to previous generation mannequin. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to learn about our Resusci and ShockLink and our newest solutions. We are happy to answer your questions. Now I'm handing it back to our hosts to lead the Q&A. Thank you.
Thanks, Mette, and really great job on the demo. The new solutions are really exciting, and for anybody that's actively doing high-performance CPR training or looking to implement a high-performance CPR training program, I think these solutions will be really well received and can help take the training to the next level. So we have received quite a few questions during the registration, so we have those to start with, and we've grouped some together, and then hopefully we'll be able to get to as many questions as we can. So with the time we have left, let's jump into it. So the first one here is, can you buy the new Zoll pads individually, or are they sold together with the training cable?
Yeah, so this training cable is sold by Zoll and Zoll distributors. When you Google this cable, you see that it comes with the Zoll pads. They are not the pads that have the ShockLink technology. These are dummy pads in this setting. However, you might choose to use the Zoll pads if you train with the ShockLink app, or as we say, ShockLink standalone without an AED mannequin. However, what you should be using are these Zoll pads, Zoll adapted pads. These are Zoll pads, but they have ShockLink technology. And these pads are sold by Laerdal, one by one. So you can choose which pads you like after if you use the one step or the stat pads.
Perfect. So just diving a little bit deeper on that topic, another question. So what Zoll defibs are compatible with this setup?
Yeah, it's actually all the Zoll defibs that has this cable. I think this cable comes in 2 different versions. I've seen that 2 different connectors, but what it needs to have is it needs to have this simulator interface. This is the specific interface to the Zoll adapter that we provide. And here you can even see my team ruthlessly cut off the Zoll pads that followed with this cable, because we are using these pads instead.
And just to clarify, that extra cable is not sold by Laerdal, correct? They would need to acquire that from someone else?
Yes, so you need to contact the Zoll distributor or your Zoll sales rep to know which cable is best for you.
Great. So just keeping the grouping here with these first few questions on this topic. So the question is, we have invested in Zoll defibs. What setup of Laerdal equipment and mannequins do you recommend for us?
Yes, so first I recommend using a Laerdal mannequin. The Laerdal mannequins are the best, they are the ones that are best adapted to training with salt solutions. You need an AED skin for the mannequin to have the best experience. Whatever other features you choose are dependent on your curricula and the training needs you have, whether you go without legs, with IV arms, standard arms, no arms, airway head, or standard head. You will also need the items that I showed here. You will need this training cable. You will need the adapter. You will need the sole pads, one of these, and of course also the shock link unit. All of this together will give the best integrated experience.
So just I want to probe you and go a little deeper on that. So when you say integration with ShockLink, what does that mean as far as kind of integrating further with our solutions?
Yeah, it means that when you have a team reporter or a SimPad skill reporter that integrates with ShockLink, you will have some benefits from using this setup. All the individual components here, they speak to each other. So you get the best experience and everything is controlled from the palm of your hand. So specifically, this means that when the pads are applied, then this is automatically detected and then logged into this to the feedback device. So it will start sending rhythms. It takes some of the cognitive load off the instructor. Also, during the session that you're doing, all the shock events that are coming from the defib are logged into the timeline, which is presented as a debrief timeline afterwards. And in Team Reporter's case, it's even presented in the video, where you combine the video and the timeline. So from a debriefing experience, it provides a very good solution because the instructor is able to kind of pin out the pauses, for example, the pre-shock and the peri-shock pauses, and focus specifically on those.
Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying that. And yeah, it definitely is important to have all of the data integrated. So if you can see shock data next to compression data and ventilation data, that can provide a powerful tool for instructors and information to help trainees improve. So thank you for clarifying that. So I do want to switch gears a minute with this question. And so we do have a question about the differences in the lungs and how those are used with the standard head versus the airway head, since you covered the airway heads quite extensively.
Yeah, I have a lung here. So basically for a standard head and airway head, the lung is the same. It's just for the standard head, you have this mouthpiece that goes all the way to the valve in this face mask, this valve. It's attached here. So from the airway head, you just remove this and then you plug it into the trachea itself. So the lung is actually the same. And I must say, I know that we have the smartest customers, but for some of you, I learn so much from you every day. But this might be a new thing for some of you, that the lungs here, and this is especially important now during COVID times, when you ventilate, air goes into the mannequin and it goes into the system of the lung. And what it does for the recessive lung is that it exits here, so on the side of the mannequin. So whenever you're ventilating, the air doesn't come back right in your face, it goes out on the side of the mannequin, which is an advantage from a hygienic reason. Another thing I would like to show you with this is kind of an open system, but we know that for someone that uses ventilator machines, they need this system to be closed to be able to pre-pressurize it. So for this purpose, we have developed this ventilator adapter, we call it. So this adapter is added here as an elbow to kind of close the system when this exhaust is removed. This will provide you the opportunity to train with the ventilator machines in your scenarios.
Great. Yeah, and it's exciting to also feature another relatively new solution here with the ventilator adapter, as that one was released during COVID time. So yeah, another great new solution for additional training opportunities with Resuscitation. So I do want to quickly expand on this a bit and talk a little bit about Resuscitation Junior and Baby. Can you touch on any thing with that related to the lungs that the attendees may be interested in?
Yeah, I do you have the baby heads here? This head is the one I showed earlier, the airway head. This is the standard head for a Resusci baby. I don't know if you can see this, but also here we have the same principle. The lungs are the same. It's just how you connect it into the trachea or versus the mouthpiece of the standard head, which is different. It also has the exhaust like this. For the junior, oh, I will put it here. These are the two different junior heads. They have different lungs. And also you might want to notice when you see these heads that if you have an older Resusci Junior mannequin, something that was before the HP-CPR solution, which was released in 2018, that it has a different lung. For this purpose, you can't upgrade an older Resusci Junior mannequin with this head. It needs to be the new one with the new and improved compression system from 2018.
So just following the questions and staying kind of on topic, I want to ask and was asked, how often do you need to change the lungs actually?
I would say it actually depends on the use case. You know that both of our heads, both the standard head and the airway heads, you can use Laerdal pocket mask or a BVM. However, and of course for the airway head, you can also intubate and ventilate from there. However, for the standard head, we know that some customers are using mouth to mouth without this, you know, like real bare mouth to mouth. In that sense, they need to change the lung more often, of course, because you're in direct contact with the lungs of the mannequin. However, if you use this this pocket mask from Laerdal, you can use the same mask. You use one mask, each student, and then you just remove this top part. It has a one-way valve and a filter. You just take it off and then you reuse this part for the next, or you wash it, and then you just replace these parts. If you do that, you won't have to replace the lungs that often.
Great. And then that's the Laerdal pocket mask you have, and you can get that from Laerdal, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. So since you have Resusci Junior right in front of you looking through the questions, can the Resusci Junior HP-CPR airway head be added to any Resusci Junior?
No, like I just said, the Resusci Junior was greatly improved in 2018. So we made a completely new compression system for that mannequin. And we also improved the lung and the trachea system. So the new lung system that we have here is not compatible with older Resusci Junior mannequin due to the new compression system that we have.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying that. Now switching gears again a bit, I got a question about when the pediatric rhythms, or when can I get the pediatric rhythms? So it sounds like this is coming from a ShockLink user.
Yeah, and some good news, they are already available on App Store and Google Play for phones and tablets. So you can download them, these rhythms right now. However, the first time you download this application, it will prompt you to update your ShockLink device to include the new rhythms. So just put some minutes extra aside the first time you use it, so that you are, you know that you have an updated device before you start the training.
Great. And on a related question, will I need an AED skin for Resusci Junior to train with the pediatric rhythms?
You will not need an AED skin to train with these rhythms are only available when you use the phone together with the ShockLink device right now, because we don't have an AED skin for the junior. However, we are developing that, and we hope the plan is to have it by the end of the year. And when we do have an AED skin for junior, you will get a much better integrated experience. At that point, the application that you're using, whether it be SimPad Skill Reporter or Team Reporter, will know that you're connected to a pediatric mannequin with an AED skin, and it will provide the correct rhythms for you.
Great. So it looks like there was some excitement around the new skill reporter. So we do have a question about, if I'm new to using Resusci mannequins, can I still be part of the skill reporter beta test?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we have had a rush the last week of applicants signing up to be testers, and which is really cool, we think. So this is all good news for us. If you're new to Resusci mannequin, you will need to know that you need the latest generation mannequin to be working with this application. If you don't have this mannequin, or if you have older mannequins, I'm sure that some of the local sales rep are able to help you to test the application to just see how it works.
Great. So we're coming up on the 45-minute mark. So I'm going to ask one more question. And unfortunately, we're not able to get to them all. So yeah, so for this one, I got a question about the Team Reporter highlights video and how that works.
Yeah, when you're doing a session with Team Reporter, the session can normally be, like maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on how your team train. So during that session, the video recorded from your phone when connected to the mannequin actually are aligned. So the video comes at the same time as compression events from the mannequin. However, reviewing a 10-minute video is a bit too much if you're doing debrief. So what is actually this app actually does is that it compresses it down to 1 minute, with taking the most coachable moments from that full session. So whether it's really good things, like now you did a great job, you had great compressions, or you maybe spent too much time on applying the pads, for example, which creates a pause in the session, then it will also show you those moments where you actually can improve. And of course, this is a really great tool for instructors, that they have a really good tool to be really visual with their students after a session.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a great way to summarize it. And for those interested in Team Reporter, is a nice segue to end the presentation today, is if you do have a Resusci mannequin, you can try Team Reporter out for free. We have a free 30-day trial for Team Reporter for those interested in seeing what the highlights video is like in person. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining us for the product showcase today. It was a lot of fun to put this together for you and be able to present these really exciting new solutions. So I know that there was some unanswered questions and a lot of other information that we can share. So after we conclude, we're going to be following up and sending you an email where you can find the webinar on demand, as well as links to our newest solutions and additional information on the products that we featured today. So from me and Meta and everybody at Laerdal, thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.